Hey there, Internet. R. Felix Finch here, and I'm awake now, so let's go through and talk about Wrestle Kingdom 14, Night 2. The pre-show starts with the never open-weight six-man gauntlet. Yujiro, Fale, and Owens are starting for Bullet Club. Yoshihashi, Ishii, and Robbie Eagles are representing Chaos. The Bullet Club get a strong start, but Chaos starts to pick up the pace. Ishii pins Owens after a brainbuster to advance. Taichi, Kanemaru, and Desperado are in next representing Suzuki-gun. Robbie Eagles is able to roll up Kanemaru for another Chaos win. Evil, Bushi, Takagi come out and they represent LIJ. There's an excellent back and forth between Chaos and LIJ, especially with Ishii and Evil. Evil pins Ishii with a very controversial Darkness Falls, because it's hard to tell whether or not the ref screwed up the count. So the never openweight six-man champions come out next, Taguchi, Makabe, and Yano. Yano tries to immediately roll up Evil, fails. There's a really fun waterfall sequence that ends in a Doron that Takagi kicks out of. Bushi missed Taguchi, and Takagi gives a bomber and a Made in Japan for a win for LIJ, and they are your new six-man, never openweight six-man tag team champions. 1 star, it's a decent match. Really nothing to make it stand out other than the title change. Next up, we have Jushin Thunder Liger teaming up with Sano against Hiromu and Ryu Lee, the former Dragon Lee. This is Liger's final match. Fujiwara, the master of the Fujiwara armbar, accompanies Sano and Liger to the ring. Hiromu and Liger immediately get into grapples. Liger just hits his greatest hits that are ground-based. Hiromu and Ryu Lee team up to double team Tiger. They keep Sano out of the match. Sano eventually is able to get in the match and keep his offense up against both of them at once. And when he gets in, there's a fun spot where Hiromu tries to hold Liger and Sano in place, but they move out the way, making Ryu Lee hit him. There's brutality against Liger by Hiromu and Lee, and Hiromu gets the pin with a time bomb. I gave this 3.5 stars. It was a very poetic exit for the career of Liger, and having Hiromu end the legacy and again kind of have the torch passed is just beautiful. So, little disclaimer, apparently Liger's retirement was so beautiful, it messed up the feed because I had to come back in the middle of this next match. It was EOP and Ishimori defending the IWGP Light Heavyweight Tag Team Championships against Sho and Yo. El Phantasmo is just so fluid with his in-ring movements. There's a fun double nut stand by the Bullet Club with both of Roppongi 3K in the Tree of Woe. EOP and Ishimori are able to get just a good high-impact tandem. EOP tries to hit Sho with the belt, but Rocky is able to interrupt and take the belt away from Phantasmo. Sho gets the pin on Phantasmo with a double stomp shockwave. 2.5 stars. Based purely on what I could actually watch in the match. This kind of reminds me of WrestleMania when I couldn't see most of Orton and AJ's match because of that damn light. We have Zack Sabre Jr. and Sonata going for the Rev Pro British Heavyweight Championship. Tiger Hattori, this is his final Tokyo Dome match as he's the referee here. Quick grappling to open. There's a prolonged exchange of hold reversals. Each man is looking to go for a submission. And it's a surprisingly fast-paced match, especially despite its grounded nature. Tiger Hattori is rolling around with a pin exchange, and that's pretty hilariously entertaining. Zack Sabre Jr. ends up winning with a roll-up European clutch. So shockingly, I thought this match would end in submission. It does not. It ends in a sort of roll-up. I give this 3.5 stars. It's not a long match, but it's a very good one. And I was shocked to see Zack Sabre Jr. win because it looked like they're trying to set up a new legacy for Sonata. Up next, we have Jon Moxley and Juice Robinson over the IWGP United States Championship. It's a fine battle between these two. And they have, because this is the kind of a make-good between the two, the match doesn't get too wild. They keep it straight to the point for the most part. Moxley ends up winning with a Death Rider after a fairly short match. 2 stars. It couldn't compete with either match either competitor had last night. But Suzuki shows up post-match and declares himself the next challenger for the U.S. Championship. Well, his theme music hits. He comes out. He starts taking off his entrance gear. So we think that maybe it'll be an immediate fight, but no, he just gets in and they get fighty. But I'm all for that match. We have Kenta versus Goto for the Never Open Weight Championship. Goto immediately attacks Kenta, not even giving him time to get his shirt off. Kenta eventually is able to bring the fight to the outside and take over. Goto makes that dramatic 20 count that New Japan is so known for, only to get thrown back into the thrown back out of the ring. Kenta is playing the shit heel to the crowd. The hits are hard and loud between these two. It's a great intensity, leading to repeated near falls and prolonged slaps before Goto wins with a GTR. I gave this 4 stars. It was just a great battle between these two. It was a fight from beginning to end. I feel like this will appease a lot of the old school internet purists out there. Next up, Switchblade and Ibushi. And the losers of the double gold dash, Ibushi remains stoic. He's taking Jay White's abuse and eating barricades with many parts of his body. There's a moonsault from Ibushi that slams like directly onto Jay White's face. Ibushi is deliberate in his actions against Jay White and almost zombie-like in his attacks, offering his opponent the chance to strike first repeatedly. The two are slowly being drained by each other's counters, with even a sleeper suplex spiking Ibushi right onto his head. Jay White slings Ibushi directly into the ref for Goto to interfere, but Ibushi is all out of fucks to give and no sells, instead giving a heart punch to Goto. Ibushi gives a very strong last ride, but referee Marty Asami is still out of the ring selling. It takes a chair shot, brass knuckles, a straitjacket brainbuster, and a blade runner from Jay White in succession to defeat Ibushi. I give this 4.5 stars. I love what they're doing with Ibushi. Looking forward to him getting his comeuppance, this just storytelling that's been going on with Ibushi. And the transformation has been wonderful. In a cross-promotional match, we have Tanahashi versus Jericho, the Ace versus AEW. And if Tanahashi wins, he gets a shot at the AEW Championship. And it is weird that Jericho's music has been changed for broadcast when there's never been a problem with Judas before. The crowd clearly behind Tanahashi. It's a textbook opening with the two mocking each other. And even an early cocky pin by Tana. And in a cool little bit of retro Jericho, Jericho hits that corner springboard dropkick combo. The fight goes into the commentary area onto those Japanese no-selling tables. Jericho uses his weight belt as a weapon. But as the fight goes on, Tana focuses on Jericho's knee. Jericho catches a high-fly flow with a code breaker, which seems to hit Tana in the testes. Tanahashi goes for the crossbody, but Jericho rolls through and catches him into a lion tamer. Jericho's mouth ends up bleeding somehow, and when Jericho hits his next lion tamer, he also stands on Tana's hand, and Tana taps out. 4 stars. Was shocked by the result of Tanahashi eating the loss. It was a very good match, but it's just not the way I saw the match going at all. In our main event, we have Okada versus Naito, IWGP Heavyweight Champion versus IWGP Intercontinental Champion. The winner becomes the first double champion in NJPW history, and it is the double gold dash. They just soak up the atmosphere initially, and after initial grappling, Okada picks up the speed drastically against Naito. Naito takes over, pulls out Okada with a neckbreaker. The pace starts building, the moves get bigger in every way. It almost feels not like Okada wants it, but he's just showing up because he needs to feel alive by torturing Naito for just even daring to challenge him. Naito makes the 20 count, even with an injured knee. The crowd is super hot for this. Naito hits a poison rana from the top rope, and somehow Okada kicks out of that. And even a Destino only results in a 2 count. Both men have difficulty getting to their feet, and they start battling on their knees. Okada gets up and delivers one of the stiffest rainmakers I've ever seen, dumping Naito on his head twice. And he survives. There's such intense near falls, it's getting really impossible to predict. And after many rainmakers, Naito to get the win, and the crowd goes nuts for Naito 2 belts. I give this match 5 stars. Both men just excel in storytelling in ring, and it was a match that kept the suspense going throughout. Naito is presented with both belts and says he will never forget this weekend, and he will now step forward into the future. And as Naito sounds like he's starting to summon Los Ingobernables de Japón. Kenta runs in and attacks Naito out of nowhere, knocking him out with a GTS and hitting the Shibata pose on him before Bushi runs out to clear the ring. Bushi carries Naito to the back, even though he has some difficulties, and that's how the show ends. My overall grade for the show would be a solid A. Much like yesterday, this show was very good, but the difference is nothing today felt wasted. Everything had some sort of stake in the match, with the exception of the double gold dash losers bracket. But that even did a great job putting over some new character qualities to Ibushi. Wonderful throughout. Definitely recommend watching. And as it should have been, the main event was the match of the night, and I'm so glad I properly called today Naito 2 belts. I actually thought it would be Ibushi when I started out this weekend, but as it progressed, I picked the right guy. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Be sure to like this video if you enjoy it, subscribe to my channel, and buy t-shirts at friscoflame.com or go to the Patreon, patreon.com/friscoflame, and help me further produce quality content for you based in the land of graps. Peace out, party peoples. I will see you tomorrow for New Year's Dash.